There we go. Threw a little Santan on the Magnavox Q8 deck. Why would I do that when it's on SACD? I don't know. Still have the tape kicking around. And I can't do SACD down here in the basement, although that will probably change soon because I've got the Oppo hooked up. I've got a second Oppo. I've got that in the living room, which means my old Sony DVD SACD player doesn't have a home right now, so it just kind of freed up some shelf space as I was rearranging things, and this is ended up down here. And of course, it's an SACD player with analog out, no digital out, and I think I have a 4-channel input on here, so I might do that at some point. I have to grab a few cables, plug that in, and then I have SACD down here in addition to Q8 track, which opens up my quad possibilities while chilling down here. But anyways, the reason I moved that down here to free up shelf space is for now I've put the Fisher MC-4050a on the shelf up there and ran the line out into the line input on the home theater system. And I figure what I'll do is I'll fix up the I'll probably fix up the power amp on one of those that's bad, and so that gives me a test run of diagnosing and fixing a power amp on a Fisher. And once I've successfully done it on there, I should be able to repeat that on the one upstairs. But since I'm not plugging it in directly to speakers, that's really not a priority right now. So that's kind of what I've been doing with that. But I'd really like to get this turntable working again. And if I get this turntable working, then the ELAC that I have connected up there can get retired. And this should be adequate for just throwing on a quick background record in the living room area there. Of course, I've got a nicer turntable up in my man cave / home office / whatever. But you know, these little, it's funny, I always consider these junk turntables the type of stuff people are giving away, the type of stuff you find in the garbage, and these junk turntables are not considered junk by many people today and seem to have value. Still a little baffling to me, but you know, I'm kind of curious how good I can get this to sound, because I got 2 idler wheel turntables that I kick around. I got a BSR 4-speed I bought primarily for something to play my Seaberg records on. And I got the ELAC 3-speed, which I bought because that's got one of those nice 45 spindles that you can get for it that lets you stack up to 10 45s. And 45s are inconvenient to just change between each one. And I'm not recommending stacking collectible, expensive records, but when you're buying 45s for $1 or 50 cents each, and it's enjoyable to stack them and listen to them, I'm into enjoying my stuff these days. Now this one does not have quite as nice of a stacking option for 45s. I'm not sure how many can get away with stacking, and I know the one that I had, the MC-4050 I had a 45 adapter that slid over this. That was kind of a crooked flat thing. that basically size things to utilize the dropping mechanism of this spindle. And I think those are kind of universal or generic. So I'll have to see if I can find something like that for this one, see how well it works. But yeah, I've started taking things apart and cleaning things up, and I've re-lubricated the ball bearing washers in there, so that's all set. I've cleaned this up. This part is not lifting up, and there's not a clip on there, and that's the way I found it. But it moves freely enough, so I might put a little just drop oil on there, make sure that's good. I'll clean up the inside of there. I've cleaned these all up here. I couldn't find my 3-in-1 oil. I found a tube of synthetic grease, which I have had luck with for greasing bearings like that in the past, but I don't know if I want a grease or an all-in-one oil for these little posts here. I've watched a few YouTube videos. I've seen various things. I've read various things. I'm going to watch a few more tonight. But my 3-in-1 oil is missing, so I've placed an Amazon order for more to arrive on Tuesday, which is fine. You know, a little work here, a little work there. I still got to take this clip off, take that out, clean that post up, relubricate that. And I want to drop the motor down by taking those clips off. That'll drop down under there. That comes apart, so that way you can basically take the part that spins out of the electromagnet there, clean up all the contacts there, and relubricate that, so that way the motor will spin nice and free. No whoa, no dragging, no nothing. Everything nice and cleanly lubricated and ready to go. Of course, I still got some tone arm issues here. The screw I found in the box was not the right screw for this tone arm. It was holding it, but it just wasn't quite right. And my spring had a bend in it. So I thought the spring was just not tensioned in the right place. But I think what it is that the spring got pulled and bent so that it doesn't have the right tension. So this tone arm is just not, I mean, the tone arm itself's in good shape, but I'm missing a very particular screw, and I'm missing a very particular spring. And I've not found easy replacement parts. But through little searching online, I lucked into a few things. One, I lucked into a thread from someone else that was asking questions about this exact same tone arm. And so he was able to reference the exact model number of this turntable, which I've not found on the turntable. And there's so many of these BSR turntables, you know, good luck finding the exact model number. But I lucked into a thread where someone had a picture of this exact same turntable and referenced a model number. And I think it's a BSR C198. There might have been some other numbers in that. And so I did a Google search on that to see if I could find more information about this particular turntable. And I found an eBay listing for a tone arm for a BSR C198 for like $20 or 20, 25, something like that. I don't know. And I'm like, well, what are the odds I would find that exact tone arm listed on eBay all by itself? And sure enough, it's pictured the exact same tone arm, and it's got the spring attached to it still, the right size spring, and it has the missing screw in there. So I basically just by chance today found on eBay this exact tone arm with the missing parts still attached to it. So that is shipping from another country, I believe, though, so it might not get here until a bit into December. But we'll see how that goes, and hopefully I could just take the screw and spring off of that, put them on here, and, you know, a little bit of cleaning and lubricating of this part, and finish cleaning, lubricating these things and the motor and everything. Heck, I should have this thing up and running in time to play some Christmas records. So that is where we are on that. I played a little more with the cassette deck on the Fisher receiver last night, and I think it's running a little fast. And I recall the one I had growing up ran a little fast. And I know that because at some point I was dubbing some CDs onto cassettes to listen to on a plane because I didn't have a working Discman at the time. And I had a working Walkman, and I had a working tape recorder to dub my CDs a cassette. And I found that the speed was off when I took them from the Fisher and put them in my Walkman. and I found a speed adjustment in the Walkman. And so I basically adjusted my Walkman speed to be off the same amount as my Fisher. And that was probably the last time I used that Walkman. And Sparky Toaster in the house. Yo, yo, yo. So, yeah. Oh, Sparky Toaster, you missed my story about my own little Sparky turntable. Yesterday I was starting work on this receiver, and now I'm working primarily on the turntable, as you can see here. I'm going to retell this story just for Sparky Toaster. This is a great example of something not to do. So these BSR turntables use a Molex connector to connect AC power into the motor right there. Same thing that hard drives use. And so I think I did this on my Columbia Masterwork receiver, which Genocide Rob gave to me, my first quad receiver. So my quad fascination's all his fault, really. And the turntable did not rotate on it. And it was a crap turntable. It had a ceramic cartridge in it. So I ripped the turntable out of it, and it's attached by wires. And this was before I figured out that it was a Molex connector that I could just yank right out to take the turntable out of there. Because if it wasn't going to work, if I took it out, I'd have a flat surface to put something else on top of it. And so the receiver was plugged in, and either the receiver was turned on and I forgot to turn it off, or the receiver still passed AC power through that wire to the Molex connector in a turntable, whether or not it was turned on. Now, I know the Fisher receiver doesn't do that, but that doesn't mean other receivers don't. But all I know is that I didn't figure out that the connector just pulls right off. I had two wires going to a turntable I had no intentions of using, just wanted to toss in the trash. And I had a pair of wire cutters in my hand. And that is how I came to just snip two wires with metal wire cutters with rubber handles, of course, though. Basically just cut a live AC wire. And yeah, that was quite a spark. I was quite taken aback, like, whoa, what just happened there? And so now I don't do that anymore. I make sure things are turned off before I cut wires, or check for connectors so I can just yank them out. So yeah, anyways, so that's where we are with this. Just need to do more cleaning up, lubricating this. Sparky writes, an enlightening experience. Yes, it was. I think those pair of wire cutters still have like a little burn notch on the blades. I put them back in my dad's tool. He never noticed or asked about it. Anyways, so yeah, I'm cleaning this up. The motor spins. A parts tone arm is on order from eBay that will have the missing parts to put this tone arm back together. And so I should be able to, in a matter of weeks, have this cleaned up, relubricate it, and put back into the Fisher receiver. And that'll be what I use to listen to Christmas records this season. Sparky writes in, note to self, unplug from the electric outlet before working on stuff. Exactly. That is what I learned from that experience. So anyways, that was kind of today's little update. I've started disassembling and cleaning up the things on this. I got a little 3-in-1 oil can on order since I can't find the one that I already have after searching the house thoroughly. It's probably in one of those boxes. So yeah, so be sure to tune into the Dune and Bob show on 5 Hit Dunes Twitch channel, 6 to 8 Eastern, so that's coming up. So I'm going to turn this stream off and clean up and grab a little dinner and get ready for the Dune and Johnny show. Did I call it Dune and Bob? I meant Dune and Bob, Dune and Johnny. They're interchangeable. Same show. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for this little update, and we'll see you then. And Sparky wants me to wear socks. Well, right now I am wearing sandals. So there you go. Sparky, what's well, Sparky, you're requesting I wear clean underwear. How would anyone know that unless we did some sort of a verification on the show? Be careful what you request. Anyways, thank you everyone for joining us, and we're going to sign off, and we'll see you in a bit.